Welcome back to BBC News. Today we will be talking about whether major sporting events are harmful in any way and whether they should be banned. But firstly, what is a major sporting event?
Well, the clue's in the name. A major sporting event is a large-scale, continental or global competition that is usually hosted by a single nation. But how can it be harmful? Let's talk about the pros and cons. Well, firstly, hosting a major sporting event is a great opportunity for a country to increase its worldwide status, show their culture, bring in tourists, allow funding for sporting facilities, improve infrastructure, so roads, rail links, housing, etc. And if everything goes to plan, maybe even make a huge amount of profit. However, some countries are careless and corrupt. But what does that actually mean?
The definition of corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power,
Which often includes bribery.
Today I will mainly talk about corruption as it's quite a large problem to tackle. In sport, corruption is an issue for many reasons. Firstly, sporting associations are often bribed by countries such as Qatar, who really don't have the facilities and modern-day beliefs to host these international events, which means that athletes and supporters experience racism, homophobia, sexism, and other unacceptable discriminations. Next, countries are often making money in any way possible. They don't mind how, just or unjust, fair or unfair, they just don't care. And this is where the problem occurs. At attempts by the country to save money, at best people get underpaid, but often it's much worse. For example, in Qatar, human rights laws are being violated at this very moment, and because of insufficient safety equipment, people are dying. What's happening is of course terrible, but what could the long-term consequences actually be? Sport is something a lot of people love, and when someone's favourite team is competing in a major sporting event, it's usually quite exciting. Sitting down at the TV, having a snack, in general, having the time of their life. But if we take a deeper look into sport and fish out some details, you'll see that it isn't that pink fluffy cloud like it is on the outside. Let me elaborate. I'll use the 2022 Football World Cup taking place in Qatar as an example. Seems harmless, right? But let's go back 12 years in time.
On December 2nd, 2010, Qatar was awarded rights by 23 members of the FIFA voting committee and the head, Sepp Blatter, beating the likes of the USA and Japan to host the Football World Cup in the year 2022. However, allegations rose against UEFA very quickly, and many were unhappy and wanted the voting to be redone. But what was wrong with the competition, and why did the allegations rise? What and how did everything happen? 2 months before the voting took place, in October 2010, 2 members of the FIFA voting committee were caught requesting payments for exchange of their votes, as reported by the Sunday Times. They only received a 3-year ban and a 1-year ban respectively, and were only fined $15,000 between them. If that didn't sound suspicious enough, then 1 month later, FIFA received technical reports from all bidding countries, and Qatar was the only one that was reported a high operational risk. On top of that, it was stated that the climate wasn't the best condition for the sport, and they had a poor human rights record. Also, homosexuality was punishable by death. You can see where this is going. Something just wasn't right. Something wasn't right on the day of the vote either, as now the 22 members voted in 4 rounds, as the country with the least votes was removed by process of elimination. There were also thought to be elements of tactical voting, and Qatar defeated what was thought to be much stronger bids. Finally, the aftermath.
Unfortunately, only months after the votes, 11 of the 14 executives who voted for Qatar were found guilty of fraudulent activity. They were later sentenced from football for life, but the damage had already been done, and Qatar were to host the World Cup in the year 2022.
How can we fix corruption in sport? The problem lies within the core of the operation, the hosts. If a tournament is hosted by an economically stable, non-corrupt,
and somewhat caring country with a half-decent government, then there shouldn't be a problem. But it's not that easy. To ensure corruption doesn't happen in any circumstances, there are 3 key rules. Rule number 1, regulation. A trusted authority needs to provide rules that every host must follow, or the tournament will be taken away from them. Rule number 2, monitoring/investigation. These rules must be checked regularly, and if at any point of time they are broken, the tournament must be taken away. Finally, rule number 3, these rules must be reinforced with others so there isn't a loophole. Only one thing is clear: we must act ourselves and save sport. So you may think this is little, but every little helps. The next time you're free, please place your vote against corruption on amnesty.org. It took me under 30 seconds, and by getting your vote, they can raise an alarm and maybe even help put an end to this global issue. Over the last decade, the amount of human rights violations has decreased partially due to amnesty and all the backlash from the community. But it's not all gone, so get everyone involved and save the sport, save lives. In conclusion, to answer the question of whether major sporting events are harmful and whether they should be banned, yes, they are harmful. And personally, yes, they should be banned if nothing changes in the near future. Because we all love watching football, rugby, and cricket. But I personally value human lives over entertainment. I'll finish with a poem. After many hours of thinking and writing, I have come up with this masterpiece. Roses are red, violets are blue. Corruption shouldn't occur in sport, so help stop it, please do.